Kesha Rowland thought she was just paying for a quiet veteran's breakfast, but less than 24 hours later, soldiers, Humvees, and even a tank were parked outside her diner. What that man revealed changed everything. Kesha didn't expect anything unusual that morning. Her 10-year-old daughter, Amara, missed the school bus again, so Kesha had to scramble to drive her while still wearing her apron. She then had to loop back through Fort Bragg traffic just to get to the diner in time to open. No coffee, no breakfast, not even lipstick. She just clocked in, tied her hair up, and got to work. Her diner sat on the corner of Ramsey Street in Fayetteville. One working heater, a temperamental espresso machine, a loyal crew of regulars truckers, nurses coming off night shifts, and a few ROTC cadets from the nearby base. Business was light. The usual old men were at the window booth arguing about football. A student was typing away in the corner. No one noticed the man when he came in. He wore a faded olive jacket with a patch on the shoulder and boots that had seen better days. His shoulders were square, but he moved like his joints had been in a quiet war with gravity for years. Kesha looked up from the counter. "Morning," she said as a reflex. He gave a polite smile, sat at the far end of the counter, away from everyone. When she brought him a menu, he waved it off. "Just coffee. Black. And 2 eggs if you've got them." "We've got eggs," she said with a smile. "I'll even throw in toast, no extra charge if you let me pick the jam." That earned a small chuckle. She considered that a win. She poured the coffee, cooked 2 eggs over medium, and served them with wheat toast and a slice of orange. Just like her grandma taught her, presentation still mattered, even if no one was watching. 15 minutes later, the man finished his meal. He set his fork down neatly, folded his napkin, and started digging through his jacket for his wallet. He froze. Kesha didn't let him fumble. "It's on me," she said, pretending to check her notepad. "We're running a breakfast special, veterans eat free on Tuesdays." He looked up slowly, gray eyes heavy with unspoken things. "I didn't see that on the door." "It's not written anywhere," she said lightly. "Just how I like to run things." There was a pause. Just a second. But it carried weight. "Thank you," he said softly. "You didn't have to." "Sure I did." He lingered a few moments longer, finished his coffee, and left quietly. She figured that was the end of it. It wasn't. The next morning, Amara had another meltdown, this time over her hair. Kesha didn't argue. She helped her daughter tie her braids into a bun, kissed her forehead, and promised pancakes on Saturday if she behaved. She didn't notice anything strange until she turned onto Ramsey. Cars were parked along both sides of the street like it was parade day. And right in front of her dinner, a military Humvee. Then another. And behind them a tank. Full-sized. Army green. Barrel slightly tilted. Her stomach dropped. She stopped. Keys in hand. Heart pounding. People were already gathering. Locals from the gas station. Teenagers filming on phones. And standing in front of the diner, a wall of uniformed soldiers all facing the door. At attention. Her phone buzzed. Text from Jasmine, her coworker. "Where are you? Are you seeing this?" Before she could reply, a clean-shaven officer stepped forward. "Ma'am, are you Kesha Rowland?" Her throat tightened. "Yeah, that's me." He nodded, turned sharply, raised his hand. The soldiers stepped aside, forming a path. A single man stepped forward. Same jacket, same boots, but now medals across his chest. Not as a show, just worn. He looked older in daylight. More real. "That's him," Kesha whispered. He approached with calm, steady steps. "Miss Rowland," he said, "good morning." "Hi," she blinked. My name is General Raymond Callahan. I came here yesterday for a quiet breakfast." I didn't say who I was. Didn't want to make a scene. She glanced behind him. The tank was still there. "But what you did, what you said, that kind of kindness isn't common. Especially when no one's watching." Kesha chuckled nervously. "Sir, it was just breakfast." He shook his head. "No, ma'am. It wasn't." He stepped aside and gestured to the soldiers. "I made a few calls last night. Told some folks what happened. They wanted to be here." She looked again. Different ranks, ages, backgrounds, but every face carried weight. "This isn't a protest. It's not PR. It's a thank you." He pulled a folded letter from his jacket. "My wife used to write thank you letters to strangers who showed kindness. She passed a few years ago. I stopped writing. But today I wanted to start again. He handed her the letter. Her hands trembled as she read. 1 plate of eggs. 1 soul restored. Thank you. She blinked hard. Jasmine cracked the diner door. Kesh, what's going on? I don't know, Kesha whispered, still holding the letter. Callahan turned to Jasmine. Sorry for the disruption, ma'am. This won't take long. I just needed to thank Miss Rowland in person. Kesha found her voice. But why all this? The soldiers? The tank? It was eggs and toast. Callahan smiled gently. Because you did it without knowing who I was. Without expecting anything. That hit me harder than any ceremony. He turned back to the crowd. Miss Rowland reminded me what dignity looks like. I wanted the men I led to see what leadership outside the uniform looks like. A young soldier stepped forward and handed her a plaque. To Kesha Rowland. For honor in humility. She stared at it, tears building. What am I supposed to do with this? Callahan said. Whatever you want. But you need to know you saved a life. Maybe mine. She couldn't speak. Callahan looked her in the eyes. You're not just a waitress. Not today. By noon, media vans circled the block. Cops came not to stop anything, but to help with traffic. People took photos. Jasmine kept wiping the same table. Kesha sat in a corner booth with Callahan. I don't know how to handle this, she confessed. You don't have to, he replied. That's the problem. Who I am doesn't have room for all this. I work double shifts. Holidays. I do dishes. You know how many people have said thank you? Twice. Both didn't speak English. Callahan listened quietly. I do it for rent. For my daughter's shoes. Because I don't have a backup plan. And maybe because being decent still matters. It does, he said. Then tell me why one breakfast brought a tank to my door. He thought for a moment. Because you reminded me what I fought for. Silence. I've led missions in 5 countries. Lost men I still dream about. Got medals I don't touch. But strength? It's doing right when no one's clapping. You do that every day. A reporter entered quietly, sat with them, and asked, why did you pay for his meal? Because he looked like someone who needed it. Did you know who he was? Nope. Didn't expect him to remember me either. What do you want your daughter to learn from this? Kesha smiled softly. That you don't need to be rich or powerful to change someone's day. You just have to notice them. The next day, more people came. Some brought flowers. Cards. Left messages on the window. We see you now. You reminded us. Then Callahan returned with others. Sharp suits. Folders. A proposal. We want to invest in this diner, he said. A place for community. Job training. Veteran support. You'd run it. I'm a waitress. Not an owner. You're more than that. You've already built something. We just want to build with you. She hesitated. Why me? Because you cared when no one asked you to. She stared at the envelope print for a year. Opportunity. Legacy. I'll think about it, she said. Take all the time you need. 2 weeks later, the diner had new paint. A board near the front. Resources for veterans and families. Flyers. Job help. Free childcare during VA appointments. People noticed. Even the skeptics. One vet started bussing tables. Callahan sent flowers. A card, your kindness created a home. Kesha never threw them out. The ribbon cutting was supposed to be small. It wasn't. Cameras. A marching band. Veterans. Neighbors. Callahan stood at the edge watching her shine. She spoke briefly. I was just trying to be decent. That's all. I didn't know it would matter. But maybe that's the point. Later, Kesha leaned on the back railing, watching Amara ride her bike. Callahan joined her. I didn't make you famous, she teased. No. You reminded me who I was. That's harder. He paused. You ever wonder what would have happened if you hadn't said anything that day? All the time. I wouldn't have come back. You should know that. She looked at him. Then I'm glad I said something. Even if it was just about toast and jam. The next morning, a sign hung on the door. Closed today for staff appreciation. If you usually come here to be served, today is your turn to serve someone else. She made pancakes for her crew. Handed out cards. Told her dishwasher, you matter. You're not invisible. Later, walking home, she told Amara, I think I'm starting a scholarship. For kids whose parents work too much and sleep too little. Named after Grandma. I love it, Amara said. You proud of me? Kesha asked. Amara gave a serious nod. Mom, you fed a general and made him cry, then got on TV without even trying. I'm super proud. Kesha laughed. Tears stun her from sadness, from peace, from finally being seen. Sometimes it just takes one moment, one plate, one act of kindness to stop someone from disappearing. And sometimes, that moment ends up saving you too.